don't know how to feel about this. So anyway, 226, I got a very strong nothing. You guys can see that progression. I'm praying this baby's 6 and that this is a successful pregnancy.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. As you see, based on the title, this video may have seemed like it was gonna be a Debbie Downer, but I decided to dress up to keep myself from crying and making this a sad situation. I really wanted to make this video so it can be informative. I pretty much saved my own life with my anxiety. I wanted to give you guys just like the full story on how everything happened. I got my notes. So first of all, let's just say that I took plenty of pregnancy tests, okay? So we either conceived around like Valentine's Day or maybe a couple of days before my birthday. I'm not 100% sure because I did not know exactly when I ovulated, and that was the purpose of that proof video that I previously recorded. With the first response, they are very sensitive in terms of HCG. So they pick up like 6 days before your missed period, and I don't really know like when your body starts producing HCG, if it's like right after the baby implants or when the baby's in the fallopian tubes. I don't know. But I guess in my case, it's when the baby's in the fallopian tubes. I started feeling twinges on my left side. All of the pregnancy like blogs and everything was saying that it was normal. It was a sign of implantation. And even people that I reached out to that had previously been pregnant or was currently pregnant stated that they had those, you know, feelings on one side. So I just kind of tried to just let my anxiety just, you know, lay low. It's like, okay, well, you're feeling this feeling on the right side, but everybody's telling you it can be normal. I continued to test. So as I continued to test, the lines got darker. So that was like an indicator for me that, hey, everything is going okay. I did not think, okay, I'm going to miscarry. Or I wasn't like, you know, I wasn't thinking about what happened to me the first time. This was all done naturally. Like, the only thing that I was taking this month that was different was my Fairhaven supplements. So we were taking those supplements and I got pregnant. So we got past that thing of, you know, even though the doctors was telling me one thing, God had a different plan.
Okay, so the next clip I'm about to show you guys was the video of me going to my very first OBGYN appointment. Now don't be alarmed, as you guys know, I may look like a different person, but it's still me. I was in my natural element this entire time. This is actually my first time putting on makeup since I found out I was pregnant. This entire process for me just kind of had me in a bad headspace. Just, I don't know, it was a lot. All right, so again, this is my first time just glamming up since the process. But let's get into the video of that appointment, and you guys will kind of see like the attitude I already had going into that one. So I am just here to rant really quick before I go in to my OBGYN appointment. I've already let it settle in my spirit that I think that I'm gonna lose this baby too. My HCG levels are climbing very, very slow, and I'm about 5 weeks pregnant today, and my HCG levels last night was 119. So, and I'm hurting right now. Like, I'm having some pelvic pain, and I've been bleeding now for 3 days, or spotting. They don't really know right now where my headspace is. I'm gonna ask to possibly see if we can terminate the pregnancy, just because I don't want to put my health in danger trying to hold on to this baby. And I just got a strong feeling that the baby could be implanted in my tubes. And I say that because, you know, Dr. Google has already like kind of helped me diagnose it. And I've had like, given my health history, I have a very high probability of having an ectopic pregnancy. So I will just come back on once I leave the doctor and kind of give you guys an overview of how this appointment is gonna go. So, all right, y'all, I'm back from the doctor and the baby is growing. So they're not going to terminate the pregnancy. I don't know, it's weird. It's like my anxiety is like, oh my gosh, you're bleeding internally, things are wrong, you're gonna die. Like, you know, that's just what my brain has me feeling, right? Like, I feel so worried and scared, so I can't even look at the positive of, okay, even though you're bleeding, it could be normal. He said that pregnancies have started off this way, and they went on to be normal pregnancies. Everything seems to point in the right direction, but it's just like, ugh. So the Tuesday that I was there, they did perform an ultrasound, and they did not see a sac or anything at this point. And again, I would have been about 5 weeks pregnant. So I should have seen something, or could have seen something rather, but I didn't. So that Thursday, when I went to the next appointment, we did my blood work. The blood work did show that my HCG levels had somewhat doubled. So this was my HCG levels when I got my very first blood test, which would have been about 2 days after I got my positive pregnancy test. Here is my HCG levels on the day that I went to the ER. This is my HCG levels on the very next day that I went to see the OBGYN for my very first appointment. And then this was my HCG levels that Thursday that I went to my second OBGYN appointment. And as you see, it did increase. So do not automatically think, if you feel that you could be experiencing an ectopic pregnancy, don't just feel that everything could be normal if your HCG levels are climbing just a little. Because over that weekend, after that Thursday, just knowing that he actually had went ahead and put in my ear that maybe this could be an ectopic pregnancy, my next appointment wasn't until that following Monday. So over those 4 days, I experienced like vertigo. I was feeling very like uneasy. I was also feeling like a lot of pressure on my right side, like almost as if I had like a migraine. But like when I would bend down, I would like I could hear like that type of noise. I don't know if that makes sense, but I could just tell it was like a lot of pressure. So just to summarize it, to keep you guys on track, at this point, I was experiencing a headache. I was experiencing vertigo. I was experiencing heavy spotting. So all three was just strong indicators that this was not a normal pregnancy. So the Monday that I went in for my appointment, just know things got real. So when the nurse did my vitals, my blood pressure was low, and I was like, crap. I started Googling, and when I started Googling, just about every symptom that I had been experiencing was signs of an ectopic pregnancy. So when I got into the room, the doctor came in and she did my ultrasound. She was basically, and so every time before the appointments, I was going to get blood work done as well. So this is how they were tracking my HCG levels. Well, my HCG levels had been rising in the previous week by 50%. But from that Thursday of my last appointment to that appointment, which was that following Monday, my HCG levels had only increased by somewhat of 30%. So she did the ultrasound and she saw internal bleeding. So she called in my husband's in the military, a colonel, and he is like one of the OBGYN doctor there. I don't know, like the higher up. I don't really know how that works. But she called the colonel in because she said that she wanted him to come and see, because at that point she was concerned and felt that I was experiencing a life-threatening emergency. I'm not gonna lie, I was scared. I immediately started freaking out in my head. She showed me what she thought was the baby, and she was like, yeah, this baby appears to be in your tube, your right tube, which again, that was where I was feeling those twinges early in the video that I was telling you. So when he came in, they both were like looking at me with the vaginal ultrasound, and they were like, yeah, we have to see you now. But currently we are in the coronavirus
craze. And at the time they were getting ready to start, you know, kind of shutting the hospitals down. Like they were canceling any surgeries that was scheduled, but my surgery was considered life-threatening, so they had to see me, like get me in that day. And I had like a smoothie that morning, so they wanted to wait a couple of hours to get me back. And at that point, yeah, it was like a lot rushing through my head. And I'm gonna show you guys in this next clip just exactly how I was feeling, because I just decided to whip my camera out. So basically, I am about to have an emergency surgery to remove my right tube. I'm pretty sure well, you know, I don't look too bad. Besides my brows, been crying a lot, so my eyes are not too puffy, but definitely dark. I feel awful, even though I don't look it. I'm scared, frustrated, all the feels that you can have. So yeah, as you see, I was pretty freaking nervous. I called my husband and I started crying because when the doctor started explaining everything to me, he drew this little picture right here, and he basically showed me the different places that the baby could have been implanted. So an ectopic pregnancy is any pregnancy that's considered abnormal, that it implanted in an abnormal place. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's in your tubes. It can actually be like on the opposite end of like the uterus or something. I don't know, like all these different places the baby can implant. Your baby can implant in your ovaries, which is a very low percent, and it's a lot of different locations that a baby can implant. So as he started telling me all these things and he showed me that picture that I showed you guys, he told me that if the baby was in my uterus or in you know, a certain location, that I could possibly have to have a hysterectomy. And I think that is what really made me freak out, because at that point there's no chances of me getting pregnant. At that very moment, my world was just like upside down. My husband immediately left work and got my daughter for me, and I was sitting in that room for about 4 hours until it was time for them to take me back for my surgery. And I thought I was gonna die. Going under anesthesia again, I absolutely like hate that process, because I always think, what if I don't wake up? They ended up rushing me back. So I was in there for like 4 hours, so they thought my food was digested. They got me upstairs. It took them forever to get my IV started. I can show you guys the bruises that I still have for them trying to start my IV, and they still haven't like gotten better. I'm not sure if you guys can see that, but I'll insert a picture. They tried to pull blood from here and here and here and here. I mean, at this point I look like a freaking drug addict with all of the stabbing and the poking and whatever. So they finally got my IV started, and she started giving me the medicine, and I was like, wait, they're saying the anesthesia, is it? And she was like, no, you know, it's just something that's gonna calm me down. So they take me to the room. I wake up from the surgery and all the news was out. The baby was in my right tube. I had been internally bleeding over that entire weekend. When my doctor came in after, like the next day, before I was discharged, he told me that I had bled over 1 liter of blood inside of me. So he was glad that I did stay on top of it, because, you know, had I went past that Monday, I could have died. Because this process was so scary. It was a wake-up call, and it's something that I never want to go through again. Really kind of had me scared to try again. But I'm not gonna give up, because I did lose my right tube, but I did not lose my left fallopian tube. The doctor said that it only will decrease my chances by 20%. So my husband and I can still try. To wrap this video up, I am healing mentally, physically, and spiritually. Thank you guys for watching. I will give you guys a detailed review on the Fairhaven supplements that I briefly mentioned in this video. Just make sure you subscribe to my channel.
Good luck to anybody out there in my shoes. Again, we got this. See you next time.